Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ballrooms and Bachelors podcast, where we talk about dance, life, and all things Bachelor. I'm Matthew.
Camille.
So crazy that Paradise is done. It's like it went by so quickly. It's like it's so insane. But like we were talking about, like I think it's kind of needed that like it's so much happened on this season that I think it's good to have a break
Yeah, yeah,
and a
yeah.
little bit of a breather from the show and everything like that. But it was a good season overall. But since this was the finale of Paradise this season. This is obviously our last episode of our second season of the podcast. So thank you guys so much again for watching. This was such an unexpected, I know, it's such a like thank you for the support. Again, this was such like an unexpected thing for us to be coming back to because we had no idea it was such like a last minute thing. So this has
You
been
didn't know.
no, I know I didn't know. She sprung this upon me one night and I was just like, okay, let's do it. So it's just like very unexpected, but very, very fun. But because of this being our last episode of season two, we do have a few updates in terms of kind of how I guess we're going to navigate the podcast going forward. Don't worry, we're not leaving for good again. It's just like we're not like it's just like people are gonna be like they're leaving again. No, so it's just like don't worry, we are not leaving. Just a change exactly. So you'll still see us, but so we are like I said, we do have a few updates in terms of how we're going to change the podcast going forward. So obviously, the Golden Bachelor and Dancing with the Stars are starting later this month, which I'm so excited about, and that's going to be really fun to cover. But kind of like we did with our last podcast or in season one when we took our break the last time. I think at that time we also realized that we had a lot of stuff going on in our lives, and that's kind of why we made
Yeah.
the decision to kind of take a break permanently at that time. And obviously, we don't want to do that this time, but we do have to change up. And we figured out it probably is best to change up how we go about recording the podcast and doing things going forward. And I know just for me specifically, like I talked about a week or two ago, I'm in my senior year of college, so I have a lot of things going on. And obviously, I have like stuff I'm doing with friends. And then with being a film major, we have these thesis films that we have to make or we get to make. And that takes up a lot of time because they're like semi-professional productions with like full crews and cast and everything like that. So I'm going to be filming that in the spring semester, but I'm doing all the pre-production work now. So obviously that's a lot of logistical things and things that are on my mind. That's not even on like on top of the classes that I'm already doing now academically. And then I know, like we talked about, I have a lot of creative goals and aspirations that I want to do throughout the rest of the fall and stuff.
Dance club.
Dance club, exactly.
Yeah.
So we have dance club, and then we have the showcase for my dance club and everything like that, and it's stuff at the studio. So with all of that, and I know you'll probably get into the stuff that I know you have going on as well, we are gonna change, like I had said, the format in terms of how we are gonna do the podcast going forward. So once those two shows start, like I said, we're not going away, but we are going to be doing the episodes monthly instead of weekly.
Yeah.
So I think that will just create a little bit more time for us to kind of have a breather, but still be here with you guys to actually go over the shows because I know how much we both enjoy actually going over the shows and talking about our opinions and thoughts and everything like that. So, yeah, that's the change that we are going to be implementing starting after this episode. And, but yeah, I think honestly, even though I'm going to miss doing the monthly or the weekly episodes, I do think maybe, and I'm trying to, because I'm a big optimist, so I feel
Yeah.
like I always try to think of like the good things and stuff, even if there's change, because I know change is hard for
Yeah.
everybody. I am definitely thinking about this being actually a good change because I feel like maybe we're actually able to give better content to
Yes.
everybody because we have more time to actually prepare for it rather
Mhm.
than with our busy schedules every week and still trying to cram in full recaps every single week and then editing it and putting it up for you guys.
Yeah.
I just think the fact that we'll have a little bit more of a breather will be a huge benefit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think the two shows in the fall, it was tough the last time too, because I
yeah,
think it's just they do air later because they have Monday Night Football. And
yeah.
it's like when we compared the schedules of like recording on a weekly basis, it's like it kind of just left us with the weekend and
Uh-huh.
like, okay, we both need to have stuff like have
And then
stuff to do.
and then
Yeah.
we would be recording until like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was just crazy. So yeah.
I think that's why we opted for the monthly format. I know we've discussed that we're still going to be active on social media.
Actually, I think it's more so,
We're
yeah.
actually going to try to be more active on social media while we're in that break. And then just obviously the format might change a bit for the episodes. Just because we'll be covering more of a span.
Like more episodes than just
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so just wanted to give you guys that update because we didn't have any dance updates
Yeah.
really, like anything major.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I
it.
guess that's it. So
On to the
again,
finale.
on to the finale of Bachelor in Paradise again, which is still so crazy to say just because of like how fast the season went. Like
Yeah.
it just feels like we did the first episode like yesterday and it was like so long ago. So it's truly crazy.
But like thinking through of everything that's happened in the season of Paradise, I was like, wow, it's been like it feels like forever.
No,
at this point.
absolutely. Yeah.
And this is our ninth episode. There were 10
Yes.
episodes of Paradise, so
Yes.
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
So yeah, so Bachelor in Paradise this time they've constantly changed the intros after everything we've been seeing.
Yeah.
So this time one item to note was now they're introducing the everyone was introduced as a couple and not not as individuals.
Yeah.
But Wells is still there with the ice pick.
Yep.
They didn't make any
They didn't make any
changes
changes to him.
that.
And then they also put the like kind of remixed version on top of it again too. They didn't have the original either, and I just know so I was like, I guess they changed the whole thing. I guess okay.
I was too caught up laughing about the ice pick because Wells did say this in one of his podcasts. I forgot if it happened in the last episode, but yeah, he kind of was just like, why do they have to have me in there?
Exactly.
The ad we did for the I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. That's just his new vibe.
I know it is.
So after that, they pick up at the rose ceremony because they had kind of left it off like after the challenge. And they're like, okay, you're gonna have like an hour now to vote.
Yeah.
So it's basically, and like we've been saying, they just with Paradise, the way they jump around from conversation to conversation.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, just discussing the scheme, not the scheme as the way the Parliament of Paradise was. But like I had like Kathy says that her and Keith are gonna vote themselves off. And she just wants to vote like based on who needs the money the most.
Yeah.
I honestly forgot who she said that to.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just all I had that she said that she wants to give the actual like couples a chance to thrive, which I think is really sweet. So that makes sense. Yeah.
And I think that's what she said, and then they kind of segued it into Kat talking about her having a rough upbringing. She was saying she had a single mom, and she said her dad was in her life, but her mom was really working 2 jobs to make ends meet. And like it just got very scarce, and like she said, when she was I think a senior in high school, she even moved to a group home because, that's I thought it's sad, but I'm happy to see Kat sharing her story because she's had quite an arc.
Absolutely.
And even more so later as we get into the episode.
Yes.
I'm happy that she had that moment to share.
Yeah, me too.
That and kind of just like plead her case to everyone of why she wants
that's
to be
important to her.
Final.
Yeah.
Then there was a little clip that they had in there of Alex holding the wine glass.
Oh, yes.
Because apparently, and this is the thing that I'm like, oh, this makes sense, but I don't think about it. If you hold the wine glass a certain way, the wine warms up. Did you see this?
Yes. And then I feel like they were like, oh, I think she was like, I'm trying to be like, I need etiquette classes or whatever, something like that. And like, I guess Andrew was like, you don't hold it like that. That. So that was really funny.
It was too funny.
But that was really funny.
So now they're going around, and then Dale just like flat out goes to Jeremy, says like, I'm voting for you and Bailey to leave.
Yep.
And Jeremy felt betrayed, and I think part of me is just like, okay, I guess I can understand Jeremy's perspective, obviously, because like Dale and him shared a room, but it's also like, well, I mean, good on Dale for just being flat out like
honest, straightforward.
And I think it was like I'm sorry, Spencer and Jess deserve to be in the finale.
Yes,
like no matter what happens the rest of this episode, I just feel like they definitely deserve to be in the finale.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then Jeremy talked to Andrew and Alex about trying to vote Kat and Dale off. Jeremy talked to Spencer, and then Spencer's like, we won't vote for you off. Jeremy talks to Kathy, and then her criteria is again like, I'm gonna vote off who doesn't need the money. Keith wants to focus on like the stronger relationship. That's how he articulated to them. But what was really nice was that they what is it? They're not going to vote for Jess and Spencer to leave, who stay to leave. And but what was really nice though, like aside from all of this, Keith, I thought like had a really nice comment to Jeremy and Bailey about like, you're a wonderful young couple. And they gave them all positive thoughts, and I thought that was really
it was really nice. Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
No, that was it. Yeah, I thought that was all really good for sure. Yeah.
And then before we went into the rose ceremony, they of course had to zoom in on Wells and asking how he's feeling. And he was like, I'm just ready to get out of here.
He is.
And he just plays up the thing because he's just like,
You know what? They work our guy Wells too hard, man. It's just like he said a few weeks ago. He's like, I don't got any help behind the bar here. So
Wells deserves a raise.
He does. Petition to give Wells a raise, please, everybody.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So then the rose ceremony. Yes. So we're down to the final 3 couples that are going to be staying and 2 are going home. And there really wasn't much of a surprise of how the results ended up going, but I'll go through it very quickly. So since Alex and Andrew won the last relationship test, obviously Alex was the first woman that was going to give out a rose. So everybody's all coupled up. So it was Alex, Andrew, Jess, Spencer, and then the last rose went to Kat and Dale. So that means going home were Keith and Kathy, which said they were going to vote themselves off anyway, and then Jeremy and Bailey. which I kind of expected that they were going to go home like rather than Kat and Dale. So again, even though that could have been a little bit of like a conflict there, I'm not really surprised by it. And then Kathy and Keith were saying that they found a good friendship with each other, which again, that's what Kathy said like last week, that she was like, even though we're again platonic relationship, or Keith and I have a very good friendship, and that's going to continue outside of this. And then they said that they also, or Kathy said they definitely, and I think we saw, who was talking about this? It was one of the other Goldens I remember last week. Oh no, yeah, it was also Keith when he was talking to the girls, and when they were talking to him about how like, oh, like the girls were saying, oh, you made such a huge impact on us, and that kind of persuaded him to stay. Kathy was also saying that the youngins have also like really helped her through a lot of stuff, and I know she's helped them through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she also said that they're both confident that they will find their people as well, which I definitely think so as well. So
yeah.
And then I also think Bailey and Jeremy also seem in a good spot with each other as well. That kind of seemed like they insinuated that.
Yeah, like at that moment.
Yeah.
Too. So after the rose ceremony, then they had the next morning. They just had like a moment of peace before
stuff ensued.
So like Kat was just kind of going around and saying like, you know, regardless of everything, like you've all been so kind to me and she was appreciative of it, and like the girls were so nice.
Yeah.
Like the guys were less toxic than last time. The whole thing, and I thought it was just like a cute little thing. At least she just said, you know, it just shows that they all bonded. Like this group really did bond. And I mean, it's up to the point there they have to vote each other off. They have
they don't really have an option.
But yeah, so then it's the next relationship.
The next relationship test.
Take it away.
Okay. So Jesse arrives, and like he said, even he previewed the night before, he was like, everything's going to change again, as he always has to say. And so then he arrives again the next morning, and then he said, okay, we're going to do our next relationship test. And he said it's going to be the most revealing yet. So then he brings them to this like huge contraption thing by the pool, and they're calling this relationship test the weight of the world, which was really interesting because again, they were I heard a lot of people that recap the show also talking about how they were really leaning into like the Survivor Challenge last week with the whole kind of Woods thing last week. This seemed like a very kind of Survivor Challenge this week as well. They're really getting into like the physical challenge stuff. And so basically how the Weight of the World Challenge works is that both of the people in the partnership, all three of them are going to be harnessed onto a platform next to their partner. And then they're going to be holding on the handles, both of them. And they're going to be tethered to weights. And then the weight they're going to be carrying is the combined body weight of the body weight between the two people.
Yeah, like a proportion.
Like a proportion. Yeah.
I know. I had to like rewatch the episode because I was like, the first time I watched it, I'm like, I need to rewatch this again because there's so many details that
there's like so many, I know. And I don't know because of that, if you missed what Andrew said, it was so funny. You got it. Yeah.
For later. Oh yeah. What the thing about that part?
Oh, I had something else because he had such like a funny line. Okay, so because he was like, I think they were all like, oh, this is gonna be so easy or whatever, or this is not gonna be easy. And then Andrew was like, oh, I'm thick, and then it's just like, it was so funny. Oh man, I love Andrew. And so again, kind of continuing with the rules, they are going to be starting out light, and then they're going to kind of more and more as time goes on increase the weight, and they're going to continue adding weight. And then if one of them gets tired, the other partner can kind of elect to carry more of the weight, kind of being like they pull more of the weight and kind of, I guess, take on some stuff that the other person is going through. But if they both get too tired, they get released into the water, and then they're not winners of the challenge. And so then whoever wins goes straight into the final round of Paradise and to find love and potentially win the money. So they kind of bypass all the kind of stuff that we end up seeing like that ensues after that. So and then the two couples that don't win are also the fate will be determined later, according to Jesse. And then Kat was like, oh, I'm so confident because Dale is so strong and everything like that. So yeah, that was pretty much it for the rules. But I thought it was again, really interesting kind of concept before we even got into it.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, once you see them like set up on the platform, like this is nuts. And then they're like showing the challenge, and I realized like how long they're there.
They're there.
But so they line up, they have them all interviewed, and then like Andrew's like, you know, these guys are buff, but like I think people forget I was a stud back in college.
Yes. And he's like, I think I still have that in me.
Yeah. So I think they started off with
15%.
Yeah. And then so like 10 minutes go by,
they added to 20.
20, and I like lost track of like how
it was like 5 every few minutes or every 10-15 minutes, so they go like 25, 30, that kind of stuff.
So then I think there was one part like Alex said, I guess she was trying to like meditate and like zone out and something, and they did like a little like dream sequence thing. She did say that I guess when she sees butterflies, it reminds her of her
grandpa. Yeah.
And she saw one. So that was cute.
That was really sweet. Yeah.
This moment where you're like,
I was so stressed hanging on for dear life. Exactly.
And I'm like, all right, at least she had like a nice little moment there.
Yeah, so kind of like distract her from it. And then when they got to 30%, that's kind of when they were starting to show them struggle. Yeah. Where they were like, okay, this is getting really difficult now.
Yeah. And then, but meanwhile, Jesse's sitting there reading a book.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
He's like, have you ever read this book? And it was really gripping. I was like, I can't. But I was just like, he's just, they're like playing up the whole thing.
And I love how he's like, we could be here all day. It's just
oh, and then all of a sudden Kat and Dale are out. I don't know what exactly happened.
I think Dale was trying to like, because I remember Kat was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And then I guess Dale was like, okay, I'm gonna pull, because he seemed really upset when they got out. He was like, all I tried to do was pull harder backwards. So I think he was trying to like get the grip more himself. Yeah. And I guess it just didn't. Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't know how the thing worked, but part of me does feel like he was irritated because he doesn't think they should have gotten out. Because I think he was trying to take the weight over from her, and I couldn't understand exactly how they were finagling that. I guess they just had the handle.
Yeah.
And so he was probably just trying to, in that the second that he went to go grab it, I think it just like must have dropped.
Yeah.
Dropped him, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Honestly, they didn't show him totally. Well, they did have in the ITM that he was basically like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, he's not too happy. Yeah.
I don't think he was too happy with it. So they're out, and then that's when the 35-minute goes, and they're like at 35%. And then there's like shortly after that, Jess and Spencer are out. I think it just they just lost the grip on it and it dropped. Yeah. And so Alex and Andrew won.
Yeah, and they held on for 43 minutes.
I don't know.
That's truly insane.
Percentage they get to 40%. I don't even know.
That even if that's truly insane.
Yeah. And I think they're like, yeah, we won, and
they still drop him in the water.
I don't think they expected that.
No, that was so funny.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I don't know. Did you have any other things?
I just thought it was such a crazy challenge, but I did like it. I kind of like the like physical challenges. I think those are really cool, but again, 43 minutes is insane and crazy how people could hold on that long. Like even if you're like physically fit, exactly. So it's just like, especially if you're just standing there and holding it, like that's crazy.
I don't know. I'm just like sure they were so sore the next day. I just always get nervous about injuries, and like this is obviously not oh my gosh, what is the name of that show? Special Forces.
Yeah.
Like some of the things that they do, I was like, I could never
do that.
I could never do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they still drop them in the water.
Yeah.
What happens next? They're the winners.
Yes.
Oh yes. So Kat and Dale talk after the challenge.
Yes. And kind of like you had said, Dale was pretty upset, like in the ITM, and then also kind of like when he was in the water, you could see he was like taking off the vest and he was kind of like upset. And so he was saying that he felt very vulnerable physically for the first time, which even as a strong guy like him, I can only imagine, because I'm sure holding that much weight for two people is like so hard. Yeah. And then Kat was like, it doesn't matter that we didn't win. Like, I'm still here for you, and I'm always going to be with you. And from that conversation, again, it was very short, but I could tell that it was, again, they're in a very good spot. That's kind of what I took from it. It was very short, but again, it seemed like they were in a good spot. So
yeah, they were definitely in a good spot, I think, after this. And I'm catching up on all the podcasts. Like I had Kat and Dale on the Almost Famous, and he he echoed the same thing of like the being physically vulnerable.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they show Spencer and Jess talking, and he tells her that he's in love with her.
He
says it back.
Yes.
So that was really sweet.
Very, very sweet.
And then Spencer has another conversation.
Yes, he does. Oh my gosh. So it's the big time already. Here we go. So now Spencer is going to pick out rings for Jess, and so Jesse meets up with him. It's not Neil Lane this time. I did see it was Neil Lane box, so at least he's still involved.
Maybe he was on vacation.
Maybe exactly. He'll give Jesse the reins for this role for a little bit, and it was really sweet because during that time he was like, "I've just never met anybody as great as Jess, and she really makes me feel like home and makes me feel so safe." And it makes sense because we talked about this at the beginning of the season, because he opened up a lot about his previous engagement where his previous fiance left him, and it was very, very like hard to trust people again and everything like that. So he has a lot of emotions obviously connected to this, and he's like, I don't want, like, obviously it's probably very unlikely to happen again, but if you have that crazy thing happen to you, I'm sure, I can't even imagine the trust issues you would have, especially in this environment, like a TV show, like where things could be manipulated and all that kind of stuff. So he said he didn't want to get hurt like his previous engagement, and again, like I absolutely like understand that. So, but
did you also have about so when he went to go look at the rings, lightning struck.
yes.
And Spencer's like, oh no, this is a bad omen. and then the other thing is then there was a power outage
in the ITM, yeah. So it's just like oh my gosh, it's like they're like giving him all the bad luck. I guess it's like, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, I've heard folks that I know that have been to Costa Rica, they basically said like it just starts raining there. And I guess the time they filmed was like rainy season.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I guess you're there for like 2 weeks and you know, it just happens. Like but this clearly impacted a lot of things. So I was like, I don't know, when they chose the location, I mean it was nice and everything, but I was like, maybe the timing needs to be
exactly. Maybe, yeah.
Again, you know,
maybe they picked it on purpose. It's like, oh, hey, we get the rain shots here and thunderstorms to add to the drama. They could do that.
Yeah. And then and then the next portion.
Oh my gosh, this is where the drama really starts. So, Jesse arrives again and then again talks about how everything happens, and then he says that the other two couples' fate will be determined by some unexpected guest. And like we said at the end of last week in the promo, the Parliament of Paradise is back, which I think much to our dismay, like none of us wants this to be happening again. The thing I put in my notes is like I love but hate the dramatic walk where they were just like all walking into like the dramatic views.
Let's be clear. I'm fine with them coming back to judge their peers.
Yeah, fine.
But the way this all
transpired, yes,
is no bueno.
Like it could have been like, okay, we're gonna get the people that like your peers coming back to vote for you.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to have the whole shtick of the Parliament of Paradise and Sean like calling out people. Like this didn't have to happen. Yeah. So okay.
I'm watching myself.
Yes, again, because I think we could both say a lot about this right now. So again, the Parliament of Paradise returns, and they have pretty much like the last like 6 couples that left Paradise. So Bailey, Jeremy, Gary, Leslie, Carissa, Brian, Leah, Jonathan, Keith and Kathy, and Faith and Kim. They all come back, and then basically what Jesse says is that the group is now going to vote for one of the other 2 couples to get a chance at the money and at love as well to join.
Andrew and Spencer.
Andrew and Spencer, yes.
It was just hard. This is the other part, the way they explained it, because he was basically like, you're going to either vote. So I guess the whole thing is this is where I started getting confused with the numbers.
Yeah.
It said 500,000. So the thing is that if everybody voted that neither Kat and Dale or Spencer and Jess deserved to be in the running, Andrew and Alex would be able to potentially claim 500,000.
Yes.
But they basically said if you vote for one of those couples to be eligible, then they're each competing for 250,000.
Yes.
But that was very confusing because I'm like, why are you all talking about 250?
Exactly.
It was 500.
It was just 500. Yeah.
Part, and now, so I
found it very confusing. So like the dollar amounts kept kind of like shifting, and so it's like, how does this work? Yeah. So again, then Jesse said now the couples are going to kind of get the chance to kind of speak their case to everybody and kind of get the kind of support from everybody. And I thought it was funny because again, they really had to play up the whole like drama of everything when they were all walking. It was like, oh, this whole tough group coming out. And then right when it was like, okay, cocktail party time, everybody just started hugging and running to each other. So it's like, of course, they're all close still. So, and I said the toughness was an act, obviously. So, and then Bailey says that her and Jeremy are officially dating, and they had dinner in town, and I think she told that to Jess. Yes. So that's really cool, and that's awesome. And then Spencer told Leia that he looked at rings and doesn't want to rush into things, but then he knows in his heart that he is in love with Jess. And I felt so bad because like Leia just started like hysterically crying when she's like, I'm ugly crying about it. It's just like
she's happy.
She's happy, but then she was like, oh. So and then Jess and Bailey talk, and then Jess again, and kind of comes up in the next few scenes as well, where Jess is saying that she wants to get engaged to Spencer and that she loves Spencer so much, but is also kind of hesitant to, I guess, take that next step and really officially take things to that next step because again, she just doesn't know. I got the vibe. It's like, I know I love Spencer and I want to be with him, but that next step of an engagement is obviously very serious. So then like, I don't know if I'm there. Like, it didn't seem like she was saying I'm not there, but she was also like, I'm not sure if I'm there like Spencer is. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, and also it's just like, you don't know what your life together is like outside of Paradise.
Exactly.
Like, it's very hard to kind of like make that leap before you really like iron out the details of
Right.
what the reality of being together is.
Right. And I'm sure that's probably unfortunately, why the success rate for the main shows is kind of not as strong, just because, I mean, I guess at least it could be a part of it, because then people get into the real world and they're like, oh, okay, we knew each other for like a month or 2 months, whatever, filming the show, and then people get into our real lives and then just realize it might not work out. So, but so I do get her concerns and her kind of hesitancy for that.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, they're going to play up all those conversations because they're like, let's instill doubt. Let's make you freak out. Let's make you think about this. You know, Spencer's going to propose.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like, are you ready for that? Yeah, exactly. So then, of course, now it's time for Sean to start his business. Okay, before we get to that,
like some other notes. I thought it was funny because like once they really like Jesse finishes announcement, Spencer's like, open the bar, the drinks are on me.
Yes.
And then I think Kat said to someone, I don't remember who, but she was just saying she's grateful and like how hard it is to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what could happen. And I'm like, segue.
Yep.
But I think the other thing that I think like Sean started to say it in his intro before we get into
everything happens.
Because he's like, well, I got turned on by the entire beach. And I'm like, sir, how did you act?
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
You were turning on all the people. So of course they turned on you.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so maybe I'll start with a little bit. So the Prime Minister of the Parliament of Paradise. And obviously they wouldn't have called it the Parliament of Paradise had Sean not called it that.
Yeah, I know.
We're like, we're of course gonna bring
this annoyed me so much.
Yeah. So he does the click and Sean has everybody gather together.
Yep.
And he basically tells everyone, like, well, you should all know that apparently he called Kat's ex, which I'm sorry, they should not have let them contact the outside world when they were on lockdown.
No.
But I'm sure the producers egged this on because of this, because they knew he would say something. That saying that she stashed a laptop and's been texting her ex love letters and was never here to find love, and she was just here for her career and to stir up drama.
Yep.
And
and then they said they have receipts too, so like we can prove it if like which is so stupid. But
and then Dale basically is like telling Kat and like, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything. And I will just say right now, I am very pleased with how Dale has shown so much growth in the season.
For sure.
And like a lot of the guys too that we were like, I know we were criticizing earlier on, like I've seen growth in them, but Dale especially, because like, you know, we were like back and forth and I was criticizing like how he was answering.
He
has not done that.
No.
Last week and this week. And
he's really turned the corner for sure.
Yeah, and then they called Alicia the Prime Sinister of the Parliament of Paradise. And she's like, she's so fake. She's in the moment. I'm like, how are you
like, yeah, I know.
It's just, I don't know. The good thing is though, like after he says this information, I mean, Kat's like upset, but I was so happy that like I forgot if it was before Kat left or after Kat left, like Faith and Leia and all of them are like standing up and being like, this was horrible. Why are you saying this? Why are you doing this in front of everybody?
Yeah.
A conversation. But I thought it was, you know, that's when she walks off, and then Alicia's like, oh, you know, it's like cry, deny, and lie. Like, everybody give a round of applause for the Emmy Award-winning actress, Oscar performance.
It's so toxic. It's so stupid.
Maybe I'll just go on my venting.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I want to hear it, yeah.
Kat walk away, and it was, like, tense at first, because she's like, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to talk about this, and, like, I think Ashley and Ben like said this to them today when I listened to the podcast. They're like, looking as an audience, that looks like you're guilty as charged. Yeah. That's kind of like how it looks in that sense. But they were like, what was going through your mind? And she was like, I just know like at that point, like I'm not comfortable being vulnerable anywhere because you don't know who could turn on me or clearly that just happened again. And you know, but they're like panning back and forth to the everybody recovering, and like Sean just straight up said to them, like I think Leia was like, she was like upset and having a panic attack. Yeah, did say in the interview that I listened to today, she had a way worse of a panic attack. It carried on way longer than they showed, which like thank God they didn't show it. Yeah. But like Sean's like, well, I don't care when they tell him what he did was wrong, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? No,
I know.
And he's like, if you're going to take shots at me, then don't miss. They didn't take shots at him.
No, I know.
They off of the show.
I know.
He took shots at everyone else. And I'm like, what are you saying about taking shots at him and not missing? Like, he got so offended that Kat didn't say that she was better friends with him than anybody else there. And like, it was the same thing I said, that it's like, okay, if he stood up for her in all those times, listen, I'm sure there's more things that have transpired. Obviously, there's more things that have transpired, but it just... And everybody was criticizing Sean. They show Gary and Leslie talking about how it's wrong. Faith and Kim talking about how it's wrong. Bailey and Jess talking, and I think they kind of were saying like, if you brought it up, but like not that way.
No,
like even
yeah.
they were trying to play devil's advocate at the point.
Right.
So anyway, Dale eventually comes back to talk to everybody on behalf of the two of them, and he tells them how Kat's been sending him love notes, and he in the moment he reads one of the love notes, and it was very sweet. And then they keep like Sean and Alicia are talking, and they're like, "I'm convinced that we couldn't have said it any other way," and I'm like, maybe you couldn't have said it at all.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe you couldn't have said it at all.
No,
actually.
Totally.
And then I just can't wait to see Sean watch back and see how he was Alicia's second choice to Dale. So
it's just like, you know what? It's just like we could vent about this or rant on this all day because it's just so irritating to like listen to all this. And I agree with everyone that like he shouldn't have done this in front of everybody. Like, because I think that just made him look so just like phony with all this. And I don't
think he cares.
No, I don't think he cares.
And I don't think he cares.
No, he didn't care. No, absolutely. And that's why he was so like sarcastic with everything. And literally, I guess it makes sense that he and Alicia are together or whatever, because like
they're made for each other.
They're made for each other, absolutely. And I just literally wrote that like they were so toxic in this, like where like they would just make these jabs at people and they'd be like, oh, they made jabs, but they weren't even saying anything about them. It's just they would make these like really immature comments to people and like whatever. So it's just that really just upset me again just to see. But again, I am kind of glad that it didn't drag on for that much longer. It was just kind of like they got their 2 seconds in of what they wanted to say, and they're like, okay, goodbye.
That's why even when I rewatched, I was like, I'm so mad that I have to rewatch this again.
I know, and I definitely liked, like you had said, the growth we've seen in Dale. I like again how he didn't kind of. I know he did start kind of when he was talking with Kat, where she was like, oh, I don't want to do this here, like with the cameras there, and because he wasn't even like. Again, like not trusting her. He was just like, I'm kind of, I just want to know if there's any truth to any of this. And she was like, we'll have a conversation off camera or off camera about this, but I don't want to do this here. And then she was saying that she did talk with her ex before going on the show, but because she didn't think she was going to meet anybody, but obviously she wasn't talking with anybody there because she was like, oh yeah, we don't have our phones. But then there was like the whole computer thing, I guess they're talking about. But I don't think again that it was really Sean's place to again come here to do that, but again I agree with you that probably again production was like, hey, here's your chance.
Well, even like in the podcast that the Almost Famous, like she denied any of that, and when I'm listening to her say it, I don't think she's like overselling it. So I trust her and I believe her. I think the other thing that happened was like, so Nick Viall, who was previously on the show, he has the Viall Files,
yeah.
Know him from that. They don't even know him from the shows anymore.
I know.
I think the rumor started like a week ago because I think Alicia said it on the podcast with him. So apparently Kat and Dale were recently on the interview, and I've listened to his podcast before. They're good. They're just very long. I've listened to too many podcasts, so I had to stop like regularly listening to his. But this one, I went on YouTube and I saved it, so I will be watching that.
Yes, I need to put it on my list too. Yeah, it sounds very interesting.
Yeah, there's also a reunion one. I don't know when they plugged it in the episode, but there's a reunion podcast, Bachelor Happy Hour, that Wells hosted. I think that's like the equivalent of 2 hours long. I haven't gotten to that.
We will eventually get to that. Yes,
we'll get to that. I'm just like trying to get all the
stuff out. Yes.
I miss them doing a live after show, but I guess it's too costly.
So I guess so. Yeah.
But,
that was pretty much it of the Parliament of Paradise. Again,
going on and on.
We could keep going on. This could be like a 2-hour conversation about this stuff. So it's just like, maybe I think we're good.
I was just going to say, I guess the devil's advocate is like, maybe let's say she did sneak an iPad in past the security, and she messaged the ex before, and she messaged the ex maybe a little bit the first few days when she didn't know what was going on. And then they're taking that and running with it.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate. Because then it's like you don't know because they could be misconstruing what she's saying, and then I feel like her and Dale are kind of together. And
it was kind of like what did I put here? Because I put somebody saying this was later, but I guess we can get to it later just because it will go back to this, but it was a comment that somebody made that I thought was funny, but we can go on to the voting now.
Yes,
because that was next. Yes.
So they went through and they did the voting.
Again, kind of cut up the things because they only showed like 2 people being like, oh, I'm voting for this person. And then the rest, they didn't say anything.
So we don't know really who voted for who, but they go through the whole voting process. Some of them said like neither couple, which I was like, I think some of them said, I'm like, really? You don't think Spencer and Jess?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, deserve it.
And even when I'm saying that, it's because Spencer and Jess have been since day one.
Yes.
It's nothing about Kat and Dale, but it's like if you were going purely on that, like how do you not think that
they could be, yeah.
Yeah. So then there's that, and then Kat and Dale were talking in the room at night.
Yeah.
Because now the couples all have couple rooms. They don't have individual rooms either. And yeah, so they were just talking.
And he was reassuring her again and all that kind of stuff. And then Kat says all the things with the two of them are real and everything like that. She has like nothing, he has nothing to worry about. And again, it was just a lot of reassurance, which I thought was good.
Yeah, so then they wake up the next day, it's the final day. The final day. And then basically the couples, I said this, the couples have rooms together. So Spencer wakes up, he says to Jess, we might get engaged today. And Jess, they show her interview and she's like, yeah, I'm panicked. I don't know if I'm ready. The whole thing. And then Kat and Dale also, they show them talking in the morning. Yeah. Oh yeah, because they're like in a moment she thought she was gonna wake up alone.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Happy that he stayed with her and supported her, and and Dale said he came to Paradise because he didn't want to fall into old patterns and shut down, and they both did that, and I think it was evident, like, because Kat from the previous season, like and I'm not criticizing her, but it's like the way she handled herself, and she was even tested more in this season than last season, and the way she at least composed herself enough to be able to handle this stuff, like, it showed true growth. So, like, kudos to her. Absolutely. Yeah. The stuff that she went through was, like, unthinkable. Yeah, exactly. So it was a very positive conversation. Yes. And I was happy to hear that. And then Jesse just pulls them. It's not like a rose ceremony. No. It just basically says that Jess and Spencer won over Kat and Dale. He kind of prefaced it with, has clearly been devoted to each other from the very beginning, which is what I said. That's why it's like, yes, it's kind of, I just feel like regardless of what happened, I feel like this is the way the vote was going to go anyway. And like Sean and Alicia could have read the room, but they just wanted to have their stuff. Exactly. And they really just like built up their whole animosity that they had to like have the last word. Exactly. It was crazy, and then that was the comment I was leading back towards. What the other thing was that I forgot who said it. I think it might have been, Spencer to Dale or Dale to Spencer or somebody like that, or something like that. And I remember one of them was like, "Oh, no little man can take what you and Kat have away." So they were like making the jab at Sean. Did you not hear that? No, I didn't. Because so it's just like, and she was like, so I'm glad that they were standing up for themselves. Like, hey, it's like, even though, like you said, Alicia and Sean tried to have their 5 minutes of, again, like, let's jab at them, it's not really going to work. So I'm glad, again, they kind of moved past, they were the bigger person, so. Yeah, so I think then, all right, so then now they go right into the next final thing. Yes. So they have to be separated. Yes. Let you fill us in on what happens. Okay, so they have, actually, you know what? I have this in my notes. I'm going to go before we get to that. I just thought it was funny because when it was one more thing about Kat and Dale. Because when they were heading home, or they said they were heading home and they found each other, and again, take it very well. But then I love how Kat, and like, it wasn't ITM, but like when they were interviewing them, and Kat was like, or Dale was like, I'm not really a cat person, but now I have my cat, and now I'm the cat daddy. That's right. So that was really funny. I was like, I gotta point that out. Yeah. So like you said, now Jesse is saying that this is, and I don't think at the time he said it was the final relationship test, but we kind of ended up finding out that it was the final relationship test. It's all come full circle. They've done so many relationship tests, and now this is the one that kind of decides it all. So, like you said, they're going to separate, and they are going to be like kind of split off as individuals for now. And basically what happens is that now it's them, Jesse, and a big bag of money in between the two of them. And points that out. Exactly. He's like, I didn't expect me to be here on a beach in Costa Rica, like with $250,000 and Jesse right here. Yeah. So it's $250,000 in front of them. And Jesse was saying that the money is not the prize. And basically I know, exactly. So the last relationship test is going to be them choosing money versus love. And they have to choose, like I had said. So if there's a lot of caveats based on their decision. So if they choose love, they're going to wait upstairs in the VIP suite. And if their significant other arrives, that obviously means the other person chose love, and they both reunited and know the relationship is real and everything like that. And if they choose love, this was very interesting how they kind of worded this. It was very confusing, but he said that they were risking the chance of not having the full amount of the money, I think is what he said. He said, if you choose money, Wait, if you choose love, you're not guaranteed that you're gonna walk away with 250,000.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteeing.
Exactly. So it's like what guaranteeing? So it's like there's a chance that there's money still, maybe, because they were kind of like hinting at that. So again, he said if they chose love, that they're kind of, I guess, walking away from the guarantee of the money, but they, I guess, again, insinuated there's still a chance.
Yeah, it was because basically if they both choose love, they are together, they don't get the money.
Yeah.
If one chooses love and the one chooses money, the one that chose the money gets the money, and the one that chose love is just broken hearted. No money. And if they both chose money, they don't get anything. They don't get the money.
Yeah. That's very interesting. It was very confusing.
Next rules.
Yes. And I wrote down it's a very interesting dynamic for this show, how they have to kind of be like, oh, choose the money or the person. Like it's kind of
had to make a suggestion. Make a diagram, please.
Yes,
next time.
Yes, so please.
I'm a visual person.
Me too. I'm a very visual learner, yeah. So that was very, very interesting. So now the decisions are in, and yes, I know. There's a couple of decisions now. So Alex, again, this was kind of the thing that they were really kind of harping at this, as well as kind of the same thing with Kat at the beginning, where Alex was saying she has a lot of student loans, and obviously the money would be a huge life-changing thing for her. But then she was saying, oh, but I love Andrew, and they've said they love each other, and obviously they're like very, very like good in a really good relationship.
Yeah.
So basically that's a huge cliffhanger. It's like, oh, what is Alex gonna do?
Yeah.
So I will let you go ahead with that. So how that goes.
Andrew Spencer. I
love him so much.
So much too. So Andrew chose love, and they had like the moments of the interviews, and he's like, look, but I understand the money is like a really big deal for her. Yeah. So like if that's what she chooses, I understand.
And that shows that that's true love. It's like I care about you so much. Do what you need.
Yeah. And that's why I just feel like Andrew has a heart of gold. Everything I've seen, like, yeah, he's a goofball, but
yes, he has such a sweet,
but he's so sweet, and I just like that's the vibe I get from him. My friend did meet him once at like a podcast thing, and like I think she chatted with him a bit.
I'd love to meet him.
Really nice.
That'd be awesome.
Like that would be
such a dream.
That just reminds me of something else we need to talk about later.
Yes,
quickly. That's fine. So they make him wait.
They did. Make him wait. And it's just like let my man just have the answer, please.
Alex walks in, so then she chose love, and she said she was like at one part, she was like, I just wanted to see your face.
I know, it's so sweet. And I felt so bad because again, this I think really showed how much he loves her. It's like he just started getting emotional. He was like, why are you here? And that was so sweet.
And then why didn't you take the money? It's important to her. And then Andrew starts like crying, and then so she did a speech, and I'm glad I rewatched it because she's like, I'm not good with speeches. And he's like, no, I know you're not. And so she did a really nice speech. They played the whole montage back, and then she said she's gonna move to Chicago, and he asked her to be his girlfriend officially, and then Jesse eventually comes up there to hug them and say congratulations. And then he goes, well, you were going to make your first decision together as a couple.
So here's the caveat of you're not guaranteed, but maybe there's a chance of money.
Is what redeemed it in my book. This whole addition of the money, this is what redeemed it in my book. Now, again, they're not going to ever be able to do this ever again because now it's like the cat's out of the bag.
Exactly.
But they have to pick one of 3 envelopes to win some money. They ended up picking 125,000, which was, it was great. And, I was so happy for them. I was so happy they had the opportunity to get some money, and at least it's a sizable amount that at least like Alex will feel like because they chose the love, then this is enabled.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wrote that over the course of the season, I've just loved them so much as a couple. I really think, and again, we talked about Andrew, we talked about Alex, like loving them like individually. But I just think they're so similar and just like such a perfect match as like people. They are both obviously very silly and they can bring out that silly side, but I think at their core, they're very genuine people. So again, I'm very happy it worked out the way it did for them. So.
And now you can talk about Spencer and Jesse.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And this was also very, very just amazing. So again, kind of the, I guess, precursor to all of this, kind of what Jess was talking about did you say it was Kat with saying that she was not kind of ready, or she wasn't sure if she was ready to get engaged?
Bailey, I think.
Yeah. When Jess was talking with Bailey, again, they kind of had her in ITM and kind of like, again, what they do, like kind of looking out on the beach, kind of those shots that they do and the voiceovers. And she was saying again that she's nervous and that she loves Spencer, but that she is confused between him and the money. And again, is kind of wrestling with that because obviously she's like, oh, $250,000 can change my life, but I also love Spencer. So again, it's a huge, kind of wrestle thing. And obviously, no brainer. Spencer chooses love. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that was going to happen. And this was the interesting thing because, again, and I heard one of the podcasts I listened to talk about this today. They had said that it was interesting the dynamic between Andrew or the difference of how Andrew and Spencer went about this. Because Andrew was kind of like, oh, if she takes the money, like amazing, because she needs it. And like I love her so much. I want her to have like that support she needs in her life. But then Spencer, on the other hand, was like, if she chooses the money, like nothing is real in life. I don't know what to do. And like so it was interesting how like that dynamic was.
I think it totally makes sense. I think it really just has to do with where they're at because like Andrew and Alex were, I think, not as far along as Spencer and Jess, and Spencer and Jess clearly had that wound of,
like you said, they were day one too.
So. Yeah, and they were from day one, and I think that's where it's just like it's the doubt about the love and that whole thing. And I think at the end of the day, it was also like Alex was very clear about like what she needed the money for.
Right.
They didn't really show what Jess felt like she needed the money for. I think she just kept it in the thing of like they were building the future together and wanted the money for the future together. Right. So I think probably in her mind it was like, well, the money was for us to build the future together. Like at the end of the day,
exactly,
it's the love.
Exactly.
I think at the I think that was that
was the whole thing. Yeah. So again, just like Andrew, they made our man Spencer like they like be like wait in agony for so long. And like to see if Jess was gonna come up, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm waiting for so long."
Yeah,
and then they had to milk it for the whole drama of the moment. So again, Jess also chooses love, and I just thought it was so sweet because you could tell how happy Spencer was when she walked up. He was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like he was so excited. And again, same thing. They celebrate and they give speeches and stuff like that. And it was funny because they also got the chance at the envelopes as well, just like Andrew and Alex. And it was funny because of how they picked the envelope because they were like, oh, Jess was like, oh, my first instinct was to go middle, and then they're like, oh, both left-handed, so let's choose the left. And I thought that was really funny. So they got $190,000, which again I think is really cool that they got money and obviously everything works out and everything like that. And then he also gives a really sweet speech. And here comes the big moment. He does propose and she says yes, which I thought it was a very, very beautiful proposal and very, very sweet. Yeah. And again, just like I talked about with Andrew and Alex, I think they're a very good couple. I think that's such a strong partnership. And I thought it was really funny because I love how they both like screamed in the IT and they're like when they got engaged and stuff like that. And that was pretty much it with them. But I'm so happy that they had a happy ending.
Me too. And then I just cracked up because Spencer, he had to throw it back, and he did say in one of the ITMs, "I'm just so glad we were able to keep the main thing, the main thing, and the main thing was love."
Yes. Oh we have to throw it back to that. I love it.
So and then Jesse like reiterated too, like he's like, look, I play along with the game too, and I saw you guys had a connection from day one.
Exactly.
I thought that was like, this is Jesse talking as Jesse Palmer. This is Jesse Palmer talking as the host of Bachelor.
Exactly.
And I thought that was really sweet too. Yeah. It's like, for those of you that don't know, Jesse Palmer was also a Bachelor. Yeah. Way back in the day, and his current wife is not from the show, but like he did go through Paradise, but he went through the process enough.
So I think you can see that even like kind of not even taking into account the whole host of the show and everything like that. I think he really genuinely cares about these people and knows what they're going through. So he's like, okay, I love you as a brother or like friend, whatever. Like it's not like, oh, okay, I'm just saying this for the performative aspect of being the host. So I agree about that.
So updates.
So we got a lot of updates for the end of the season. So again, Jess and Spencer leave happy, and then they have this final shot of the two couples, and then the episode ends. And now we get the update of who's together still and everything like that. So I thought it was really funny because they have four of the five final couples are still together, and I love how like at the it was so creative how they did this, where it was like they just like flashed it in, and they were like, and Keith and Kathy are still friends.
Yeah.
So it was like, I love that.
It's funny how they wanted to keep only the top 5 couples. They didn't talk about more of the previous couples.
Exactly.
I think the ratio was probably better.
Exactly. Yes, totally.
We'll have to find out what happens to the rest.
Yes. Okay. So they go down who is still together. So they said at or kind of in the middle of the episode where Bailey and Jeremy said that they were officially boyfriend and girlfriend. They are still together, and they have met each other's families and are planning on moving in together. And I thought it was also funny at the end of the little blurb thing. It said Susie who with a question mark. So it's just like, okay, I guess that thing is like, it's all behind them now. And so then Dale and Kat are still together, and they plan on moving in together, and that their relationship is far from dead. They're gonna like, yes, let's bring that word back one final time.
Yeah.
So, and then Andrew and Alex have visited each other's families, and that she's moving to Chicago, like she mentioned, to be with Andrew, and that they are using the money, like she talked about, to pay for Alex's student loans, and that they continue to level up. Like again, like she said, we're on level 2 and level 1 and all that stuff. And then Jess and Spencer's family love each other, and then she is planning to move to Dallas to move in with him in the new year and live with Spencer, and they are engaged, but I think it said that they want to take their engagement slow and everything like that. So I am very, very happy that everybody seemed to work out. That seemed like they worked out on the show. Again, it seems like they're all great couples, and I really, really think they're just great individuals. So yeah, I am very happy how everything transpired.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see with the reunion, because I'm like, I don't know how some of the other couples are doing.
No, I know.
Like the other non-final couples.
Yeah.
But the one other update, which is like, I'll just go to this, and then we can just go back to our thoughts about the season overall. Okay. They also announced a Bachelor cruise.
I was going to say, let's talk about this. Yes.
The pre-sale's like starting like now.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I
know.
Just check it out.
Just check it out.
I'm interested.
Yes.
I don't know if I can commit to that far ahead.
Exactly.
I'm gonna keep it on my radar.
Me too.
I know there's like limited space, but I'm like, I'm already going to Lady World, and I'm gonna meet Caitlin Bristow in like 3 weeks.
So you have that going already.
And I don't think Caitlin Bristow's listed for the cruise.
Yeah.
So I am gonna meet Caitlin Bristow, and I'm like, okay.
That my life is complete.
I mean, it's like I'd love to meet Wells too, and these people. But we'll see what happens.
Like if it works out, we'll have a lot of stuff for the podcast, but if not, we'll have people to talk about it for us.
A year from now.
It will be over a year from now, so we'll have a long time to figure out it. But yes, I thought that was very interesting how they did that too.
Yeah, I was like, but so there's that. I mean, I will say, I think with the season overall, they did make a lot of changes. I was like, the filming was a little different. I know, like, there's certain things we kind of didn't love.
Yeah.
But I think they kind of, the way that they honed in on it every week, because like they're still editing a lot of these things live as they're getting the feedback. I think the way they settled on it closer to the end was a little better.
Yeah.
I do like the inclusion of a lot of the challenges.
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
We talked about them like week to week. I think that was good. I mean, the whole money aspect.
I don't think they can do it the same anymore. No. Like you said, it's already kind of the secret's out.
Cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag. So they can't be like, oh, same thing. Yeah, they can't do
No, but I think like for a season that was very dramatic and had a lot of like chaos in the sense of like, you know, because even just like going back over some things like, you know, Justin leaving.
Yeah.
Except the numbers there. I don't know if they had other people that they were waiting to send in.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Like the whole thing with Jonathan and April messed up the numbers for the Golden.
Right.
I think it just kind of, there were a lot of things that on that aspect, I felt bad because I feel like there were less people that got a shot at love. And the whole thing with Sean and Alicia at the end and that whole part was like chaotic.
Yeah.
Some of these strong couples like had challenges earlier on, but they've all seemed to work past them. And so I feel like at the end we ended up with a good group.
We did.
And like they did win money on top of it. So I do have to say you know, certain things I didn't love, but I think it was overall I was very pleased with the changes.
Yes.
So we'll see how it like carries over into like what are they going to change from like Golden Bachelor.
Oh yes. And I'd be curious to see. Again, I absolutely agree with everything you said, and I get, like you had said, I loved most of the challenges. I thought that aspect kind of brought a new kind of level of fun and kind of competitiveness to the show and to the season and everything like that. Like we said, I don't think they could do the money the same way again. I think they're going to have to change that. And again, some of the drama and the way that they brought the Parliament of Paradise back could have not, I don't think that was necessary, all that stuff. But I'm glad at the end of the day, like you had said, there was, even some of the strong couples had some, I guess, challenges, which makes sense. But I'm glad that they kind of had these character growth or just personal growth arcs that they were like, okay, we had our challenges, but then we found happiness in the end. And then at least the two final couples got the love and the money. So I thought that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for the couples. So
me too.
I follow some of them on social media, not all of them, but I'm like, all right, I gotta just keep tabs. Like, anyways, I hope they all work out.
Me too. And I do have a strong feeling about it.
Yeah. So I'm like, especially for Andrew and Alex, I saw they posted some stuff.
Yes.
And I was like,
I know, and I saw Justin Spencer also post stuff too. So it'll be really sweet to hopefully see everybody continue well. So. Oh my gosh, I think that's it. My gosh, what a whirlwind of a season. It's really crazy. But okay, I guess we will wrap it up now. So thank you guys so much again for watching. And if you like it, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell and share it with a friend if you feel like you want to. And then also follow us on Instagram at Ballrooms and Bachelors. Again, like we talked about, the format is going to be changing a little bit, so we won't see you guys next week, but we will be seeing you very, very soon to go over the start of the 2 new shows, Dancing with the Stars and Golden Bachelor, which will be very, very exciting. So thank you guys so much again for watching, and until next time, we will see you soon. Bye.